Hey guys, what's up? I want to give a shout out to a couple of good friends. They'll be listed here on the screen and check down in the description for them. I can't think of their name right off my head right now. Can't think of their names. Well, one of them told me to get a hole saw. This is a bimetal hole saw for exhaust to notch it so John Deere is back on schedule to get work done again. So I got that. Thank you. I can't think of your name. So if you guys can go subscribe to those two people. They've been really nice. So make sure you guys go subscribe. One only has like 200 subscribers. The other one only has like 60. Make sure you guys head over to them and subscribe. So further ado, this is going to get fixed. So I have had a lot of people ask me, why did I buy the John Deere 317? The plague of all plagues. Well, here's the best thing to explain. They're cheap to buy. No one wants the 317s. They had a Kohler problem. Kohler K Series 1 always broke a rod. Usually it cracks the block right there. If you get lucky, it may not crack the block. It might just snap the rod and you'll be good. But half the time it cracks the block there or underneath. Another reason why I grabbed the 317 is they had a better rear end. The snowplow that's on here is from a John Deere 300. The very first 300 they built. So that's why I bought a 317. The 318, 316 late model, not the early 316, but the late model 316. The John Deere 320, 322, 320, whatever the 320s were. The 340s, I believe, and the 400 series, and the 330s, all had a cheaper rear end. The best way to explain the cheap rear end, let me go back over here. They had a setup like this, somewhat like this. Had the one-piece casting rear end, the pump bolted up to it, and then it had a shaft that spins, something like this, but it's reversed. Sunstrand built the pump. I don't know who built the train axle on it, but this tractor has the Suntrans in it, just like the Cub over there has a Sunstrand. So what is the big deal about this? Well, the biggest deal is, if you look, this is cast iron or cast steel with gussets. The later models, 316 and the 318 and on up, had the aluminum casting, which is weaker. They also did not have the gussets, nor did they have the full frame rear end in them. What I mean by full frame is, I'll post a picture here of a 317 or 318, I mean. So it had an open rear end. And down inside there, you see that pumpkin? Yeah, these tractors had a pumpkin that the hydraulic pump bolts to, just like and just like these had a car rear end. See how it somewhat has a pumpkin setup, and then bolted, and then the pump bolts to the front of it. This gives you a better picture of what it looks like. See how that has, your pump sits at the top, has a pumpkin setup like, well, a truck rear end. These were a lot better design, if I may say. And then you frame bolt it to the pumpkin pumpkin support bracket. Now, let me close down the bay door so I keep the warmth in. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, you can't get a 3-point for these. Well, you can. The 3-point bolts here and here. And then there's a plate that bolts onto here that has your 3-point arms. That's why this is notched out. So your linkage goes through the top linkage. Then there's a rod that runs through here. If you go to my Facebook page, I'll have PDFs and everything on the Shop Talk page. I'll make sure I link that down there. I have the PDF to build the 3-point hitch for this, and the sling hitch, or the pivot hitch, what do you want to call it. So these tractors had a lot going for them. They just got a bad reputation because they're not a true 3-point. Well, Cubs have 3-points too, and they're not true 3-point hitches. So that is my biggest problem why I bought the John Deere 317. They're cheap. They had the plug, but they had the better rear end. From the 300, 312, the 314, the early 316, and the 317 all had that setup. So if you guys can, get a hold of these older John Deeres. Definitely the 317, because it's not hard. It's not hard to adapt a Onan BF 43G engine in these frames. I have videos on how I did this, how I put this in here. Granted, it took me a lot of, I got kicked off quite a few forums, and just to figure out how this engine went in here. And it wasn't because of a fabrication forum. I would never got this engine in. But I want to show you guys and tell you guys that all you need to do is notch out the back half of this, put a flat bar in like I showed you guys, and drop the engine down onto it. And if you guys can, make a drive shaft or build one like I did. So you could put a 318 engine on here. It's not hard. And one thing I really like about the 317, it's got the individual braking. So that's the plus I like, because if one wheel's slipping, you can push the brake down on that one wheel to slow that slipping down, and it puts power on the other wheel. So another thing is, this model had the twin sticks. And down, don't know what's that? Right there, I could put a third lever in. So I can have technically 3 levers on here. Now, what is my plan for this tractor? Well, like I've told you guys when I first got the tractor, my plan is to put, it's called a Johnny bucket. If I remember, I'll put a picture of what a Johnny bucket looks like. You can put one on the front end. Now I'm going to price out, see what it's going to cost to build a Johnny bucket. If it's more to build it, then I'll just buy the Johnny bucket. But that's the plan. Get a Johnny bucket put in the front. I want to get a mid-mount graded blade built for this, and also my 3-point hitch in the back, where I can have a mid-mount grader blade and a rear drag blade or a graded blade in the back, and my plow in the front or the bucket in the front. That's why I bought this. It's so cheap to buy these misfit John Deeres than it is to buy a 318. A 318 in my area goes for almost $2 grand. I've seen one go for $6,500 at the dealership. So what the John Deere 318 has, I can put onto here. What, you talking about no power steering? I mean, I like manual steering. I don't have the touchiness of the steering. Maybe when I start loading the front end down, maybe I probably want power steering. But if you're snow plowing, you don't want power steering when you're snow plowing with a tractor, because you don't want the tractor to be all over the road when you're snow plowing. You have more control in manual steering than you do in power steering. Now, if I want to put power steering in here, I can do it. All I need to do is go get the 318 power steering kit. Put it in here. You guys want an oil cooler? Well, I have enough room. I can put an oil cooler in here. I got electric clutch PTO that came with this motor. So 3-point hitch, like I explained, Keen has 3-point hitch. I can put a 3-point hitch. You're talking about locking differential? Well, all I need to do is go buy a locker, put in the back end of this. And I can put electric locker in the back end of this, and I'll have electric locker, both wheels will spin. But this is the old school design before they went with the locker, with the push down knob somewhere's in here. You push down and lock the rear tires. This is pretty much a locker. It wears like brake shoes, but you can use that as a rear end locker. So there ain't much that the John Deere 318 has that I can't put on here. Just want to clarify that with you guys. That's why I bought this. That's why this came home. That's why that came home. All these tractors are misfits. There's something that no one wanted. That one needed a lot of work. This one needs a lot of work. That one was thrown in the junk. That one was going to the junkyard because no one wanted it. That one was going to go over the hill at my neighbor's. Took that home. All these are misfit tractors. So just to clarify it. Just because that's why I have a John Deere 317. I mean, if I can get a hold of a 318 or a 330 or a 320, I would do it. But I'm not paying top dollar for a John Deere tractor that I'm going to beat the crap out of. And if you guys want to know why I'm not paying top dollar for something I'm going to beat the crap out of, there you go. I blew a hydraulic line. So, yes, anything that the 318, the 320, 330, 340 all offers, I can do it to this. If I want to put the bigger tires from the 400 on here, I can do it. It's not hard. I just don't want to do it because I want to use the mower deck under it in the near future. That's why I don't want to go with the 400 tires, because that'll lift it all up, and then you have to run a shorter deck. Because the 400 had the John Deere 400 was a wider, longer frame. So what you have to do is split this tractor in half and then push it back. So you got to widen it out, I think 3 or 4 inches longer than the 317 model. So yeah. So further ado, that's why I bought it, and she's somewhat coming back to life. A little bit of time, a little bit of engineering, and if I could just get, if I had the people that would help me, I would have had this tractor done before winter. Alright, so I hope that explains it and clarifies it. So, further ado, the John Deere is going to get work done, and then we got to figure out the charging circuit problem with this, and this one has to sit until I get more money. So, peace out, have fun, comment down below if I said something that you didn't like. Alright, peace out.